He refused to back down in the face of a right-wing backlash.
She just can't own up to what she's done.
Breaking now at 11 o'clock, Socialist Seattle City Council member Kshama Sawant takes the stage, confident she can overcome a rare recall effort that's leading as the first votes are counted tonight. So far, 53% of the votes support removing Sawant from office. Nearly 47% want her to keep her seat. Just under 2,000 votes separate the yeses and the nos, with more votes still yet to be counted. The final results could have sweeping consequences and the direction the city council takes over the coming year. KOMO's Joel Moreno live in Seattle tonight, where he heard from both campaigns. Joel?
Preston, organizers for the recall effort, they say they're cautiously optimistic that they will unseat Councilmember Sawant from her place here at City Hall. Sawant, though, she says that history has shown she can overcome this size deficit, and this is far from the last fight that her movement plans to wage. As she took the stage to cheers and applause, Seattle City Council member Kshama Sawant says the recall campaign's early lead means little in the long run.
If past trends hold, it appears working people may have prevailed in this fight.
Sawant has come from behind, facing bigger deficits than a 6-point spread, but those pushing to remove her are also confident that the margin will hold.
And I don't think that it's going to be very much of a change in what our numbers are or hers. I think we'll prevail in this.
Sawant's recall could bolster wins last month by moderate candidates for mayor and city council. But Sawant says the socialist movement she represents has achieved victories even as corporate interests try to tear her down.
In the midst of fighting this recall attack, we have won some of the most groundbreaking renters' rights in this year alone.
The recall was launched to challenge Sawant on when she spent public money on personal political campaigns. She also opened up City Hall to protesters during the lockdowns of the pandemic and took part in a march to Mayor Jenny Durkin's house, whose address was kept confidential for security reasons. But the council member blames the recall effort on billionaire-backed interests supporting racist right-wing policies.
Our message throughout this recall fight has been, which side are you on? Working people and Black Lives Matter, or big business and the right wing?
She's a seasoned council member. She knows the laws. She took an oath of office to uphold those laws. And so I'm going to call BS on her.
Election officials plan to have the final vote tallies probably before the end of the week, and then they will certify those results December 17th. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Joel. There are more than 77,000 registered voters in District 3, which is Sawant's district. More than 32,000 ballots have been counted. That's a turnout of nearly 42%. Turnout for the general election in District 3 hit nearly 56%.
More than a year of dealing with crime, fires, and neighbor complaints, the notorious homeless encampment at Ballard Commons Park is gone.
The job now is to get that park back into operation and also to prevent another encampment from flourishing there. KOMO's Jonathan Cho has this Project Seattle update.
After crews cleared the trash, the needles, and broken tents littering Ballard Commons Park, they installed this massive fence wrapping around the entire perimeter.
Do you feel like you're being forced out of here right now?
Some people would say that.
Donovan McCracken and about a dozen or so campers waited until the last minute, but eventually realized their stay was coming to an end.
Did you find some housing?
Yes. I'm in process of talking to them today.
Some mutual aid groups showed up with signs opposing today's cleanup. However, no major confrontations or arrests.
I think everybody's just tired.
After months of intense outreach by the city and its partner agencies, Councilmember Dan Strauss says it was the right time to move in.
We need a moment for this park to heal, for the community to heal.
Strauss represents Ballard and has taken a lot of criticism from neighbors who wanted the process to move faster. But he says since early October, the city successfully placed at least 60 people here into housing or shelter and believes the strategy is working. But Tony Monroe says he wants his neighbors to remember.
It just ran amok.
The city allowed this crisis to flourish.
They let people here stay during the beginning of COVID, and then they just kept coming and kept coming.
Just in the past 6 months, SPD says officers responded to the park or the surrounding area more than 100 times for assaults, tent fires, and other public safety problems. Liz Miller owns a nearby bar and says this community is reclaiming the park and believes the city needs to have a plan so this doesn't happen again.
My concern is that we don't have any true kind of measures in place to make it so they can't build up again.
But St. Luke's pastor Britt Olson says this time around, she has faith in this process.
The difference is that you have relationships backed by resources.
Resources like more shelter and housing coming online. Her church is also part of the Ballard Alliance, a coalition of mostly businesses that chipped in to help pay for an outreach worker focused on the park. And she says they'll be ready to help the city respond if the campers come back.
And if you put relationships together with resources, you have a much better chance of helping people.
The city officials say Ballard Commons Park will now be closed anywhere between 6 months to 1 year for renovations.
This was full-size. If it wasn't a toaster oven, it would have been a full-size microwave.
Developing now, a dangerous drive on I-5. Debris hurled onto the highway right into the path of unsuspecting drivers in Seattle.
Witnesses say a toaster oven was thrown onto the interstate on Sunday and that it hit a car. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. This happened along I-5, right in the heart of downtown by University Street. Nobody's been arrested.
The area where that oven was tossed is littered with debris, including plenty of garbage. KOMO's Michelle Esteban joins us live now from along I-5. Michelle.
Well, hi, guys. A couple from Shoreline tells me this. They feel so blessed that nobody was hurt, including their family. And they really are trying not to think about the what ifs, what could have happened out here, because they know it could have been really bad.
Imagine this, a toaster oven coming right at you. On average, that's about 25 pounds of appliance junk.
That's ridiculous.
But it happened.
This large thing, the best I could figure is it looks like a toaster oven, came out of nowhere.
Scott Newman and his pregnant wife with 3 kids in tow saw it as they came around this bend on I-5 in Seattle on Sunday. They were heading home from church and watched in horror as a chunk of metal crash landed on a car ahead of them.
Hit that car on top, broke into about 2 pieces and split off. You know, that person just kept going. I don't even think they realized what happened.
No one was hurt, but what's worse, the couple says it was no accident.
My wife said that she saw somebody who'd just thrown it off on the side.
In fact, we found this smashed toaster oven on the shoulder of the interstate, right where it happened. The couple thinks that's it.
Well, and I was thinking too, like, with the way, you know, how fast cars are traveling on the freeway, if it was just a few seconds after that, that would have been my car.
They called 911. Washington State Patrol confirms it responded to calls about debris being thrown onto the interstate. But a spokesman tells me when they arrived, the suspect was gone. It happened around 1:45 in the afternoon, northbound I-5, right between Seneca and Mercer streets. And we checked out the area where Scott's wife saw the suspect. It looks as if someone may be camping illegally in that area. Newman says as a delivery driver, he's always hyper-aware behind the wheel and on the lookout. But after rock-throwing incidents on I-90 over the summer, and now this...
I mean, I was already looking out on I-90, but I'm always looking around now.
Of course, State Patrol investigating this case. We don't know at this point who that suspect is or if, in fact, it may be linked to any type of illegal camping. We'll stay on top of this story for you. If you saw anything, again, that happened at 1:45 Sunday afternoon. You're asked to call State Patrol. We also wanted to know about what about that debris, right, that's littering the shoulder of the road. WashDOT does regularly clean that up. It is on their list to do, but because it is not in traffic and it is out of the way of traffic and on the shoulder, they're going to get to it, but it's just on their list. And there's other things that are bigger priorities.
Hey, everybody, I'm Eric Johnson from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and all of Western Washington. And don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.